Hello everyone, welcome back. In the previous video we spoke about getting the dark and light values right, so you had a good spread from light but not overblown at the top, going all the way down through to dark but the shadows not too dark at the bottom. From here on in we're going to be talking about the colour balance. This baby is just a couple of days old, and like some newborn babies, his liver isn't quite functioning how it should be just yet, so he's a bit jaundiced. Well, from a photographic point of view it sounds like a saturation problem, but what we'll do, we'll come to our favourites tab and we'll come down to AA Tone 01. Well, that's what we created in the previous video, so let's put that preset up there. Leave it there for now. Now, we need to take a look at the saturation of this thing, so we're going to come to the Adjust tab and we are going to come down to Selective Saturation. Alright, let's see what these sliders and controls do. Okay, the one on the right, Saturation. Well, that, if I press it to 50, it's neutral, it's not doing anything, but if I push the saturation up, you can see the selected colours are getting more saturated. Now the colour, I've got this little rainbow here. If I slide around here, you can see, depending which colour I pick now, at the moment I've picked that kind of blue, and you can see that the blue of the baby's sleep suit is getting more saturated. So that's where you select the basic colour. Now I want the baby's skin to be selected here. Finally, the tolerance, that's how many colours either side of the colour you've selected get picked at the same time. So if I take it right down to almost nothing, only the particular colour that I've selected will be affected. If I increase the tolerance, you can see other colours like the blue as well, even now, are starting to be selected. Now at the moment everything's being oversaturated. Okay, well we can use that to our advantage. Let's take the saturation right the way up, the tolerance right the way down. So you can see only a few small bits are being selected. Now I can pick quite exactly what colours are being affected, because I can see them very clearly that they're being affected by cranking the sliders all the way up. So it looks like it's around, that seems to be the most accurate selection for me. About there. I want the lips to be affected. You can see the sheets are being affected to a certain extent. There's not much I can do with that, about that. They're a bit too similar in hue. Now I'm going to take this back down. Rather than slide this down to where I think I want it, I'm going to take it down to neutral, which is 50, and then I start sliding it up or down. Now in this particular case I want it to go down. And you can see as I'm doing it, the baby's face is getting less saturated, getting a more natural colour to it. Now this is a very good time to make a very important point about CameraBag. I've got my selective saturation done there for the face, but I also want this sleep suit to be just a little bit more saturated, a little bit more blue. So I put down another selective saturation there. I'm going to do the same thing again, take the saturation right up, take the tolerance right down so I can see a very narrow band of what it is I'm affected. I'm going to move this over to the blue part there. You can see what I'm selecting there. I'll bring the tolerance up because there's certain parts of the sleeve that aren't being affected there. Bring the tolerance up and bang. Now I'm going to make the saturation 50% so it's not affecting either way. Then I'm going to bring this up slightly because I want a little bit more of a saturated blue. There we go. There. Pretty straightforward to do. Just play around with the sliders. That's the key to getting the kind of precision that you want with these tools. Also, before we move on to slightly more advanced colour correction, I just wanted to make the point you can have more than one instance of selective saturation, colour corrector, RGB curves, whatever you want here. That'll be important when we come to the next video, which will be using 3 instances of colour balance. I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, maybe you consider clicking on one of the links below and check out my game called Disco Baby, which is on the iTunes Store or Android stores like Google Play. It has 3 different games in it, a memory game, a maths game for children, and a dance along with me game for toddlers to join in with. Thanks for your time.